Hi guys, and welcome to the pod. Last game of the season. How are we all doing? You alright?
Brilliant.
Oh,
Gavin?
last one.
Sad, sweet, but yeah.
No, what? Before we say anything, as an Arsenal fan, I just want to say props to City. I'm not here being salty or anything. You can see why they've won 4 in a fucking row. Like, they can just turn it on. I mean, they can also turn it off, but when they need to, they can turn it on and they can win, is what matters. And unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to fucking beat that yet. So, congrats to City, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm happy about finishing second. Well, no, I'm a bit down that we didn't win the league, but second is still pretty good to a very good side.
That's probably where I'd start. I'd probably go with the West Ham City game. It ended how we all expected, didn't it? Like, as I know there's a lot on social media about Arsenal could do it for Davy Moyes, and West Ham could do it for Davy Moyes, and that we could turn over City. I think the problem is, if you look at us since January, realistically, we didn't have that in our locker. Like, don't get me wrong, the Kudus goal, props off, because that was fucking unbelievable. It was a lovely bit of football. And he has no right to take it on, but it's class. It's brilliant.
It was a game that summed up David Moyes, I think, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Conceding in the first 2 minutes, and then scored a piece of absolute brilliance for a player that he's not got the best out of, and then ended up in a damp squib because we can't play football. We were 3-1 down, and we didn't want to go forward again.
Yeah.
I don't really know too much thing on it. Honestly,
actually, were pretty good.
Yeah, it's the sign. Yeah, it's the sign off on it, isn't it? Really, obviously he's gone now. That's all well and good. But
I'm guessing Bowen was injured.
Yeah, he had a knock apparently.
Same with Saka, muscle injury.
But it's him in his tenure in it really in 90 minutes. I think City just showed their quality at the end of the day.
I don't think the game ended any way that none of us expected. To be honest, I think after City got the goal, they slowed down a bit, but I didn't expect us to beat them. I had no delusion in my mind that we were going to turn around and go, we're going to beat City last night of the season. We've not been good enough for the last 4 or 5 months to be able to pull that sort of shit off. And I genuinely think that, like,
doesn't help as well when your manager comes out before the game saying it'd be hard to beat under 14s as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah,
it was done before we started, wasn't it? Like, Moyes needed to go. I would have preferred a better send off, but I'll take it. Bye bye. See you later. Thank you very much for what you've done. Move on to the next game. To be honest, move on to the next season. I'm looking forward to what happens next.
I hope Paquetá has packed his bag and just stayed up there, to be honest with you. After the last couple of games, just let him do it. No,
he's been very lackluster. He's not looked focused on the game like he was before. Yeah. I think, to be honest, the last couple of games, Kudus has been the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think his style of play, and especially when I saw him in person when we were at Luton, he's so erratic. But when he gets the ball, he just causes problems because people just they don't. No one knows where he's going to go. I think that's the problem with team-wise with us. We haven't got someone on the pitch really that reads him well enough to know where he's going to go. But I think he's going to be interesting to watch next season. I definitely think he's going to cause issues for teams.
No, I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't go in today with any hope. Because obviously, as a football fan, you always hope that your team can fucking win trophy, win the league, whatever. Yeah, I went in today with a little bit of hope, thinking, what if? But then on the other side, a common sense kicked in and went, it is City. It's not like it's some United or a Chelsea at the moment. It is City. The fresh fucking cream of the fucking crop. You know what I mean? They're fucking You know what? I am slightly jealous of Pep and that team because they're just. As I said before, they know how to win, and it really fucking bugs me because they don't need to play well to win, and I feel like we're close to that, but we're not close enough. and yet it's shown today that all the players were all downhearted and upset. Kai Havertz was crying. I think Saka was a bit upset. But I'm going to be really brutal here. It is your shitty performance at fucking Villa and against Hughes and against whoever it was the week before at Fulham. Those 3 games we should have really won, scored goals in, and you didn't perform. So yeah, even though you're not happy that you didn't win the league, look at those performances, and next year we're not fucking losing them. If you lose the same ones next year, then I'm sorry, that's a mentality fucking problem.
I think to move on to the Arsenal game, yeah, the Everton gave you a lot better game than I actually thought they were going to give you. Because I kind of, last day of the season, I kind of expected Arsenal to come out going 1,000 miles an hour. I kind of expected you to come out and put them away in the first half.
I think the thing with Everton is they had nothing to play for. Their season was done. And yet, that can go 2 ways. You can have the team that's already on the beach. They're already fucking packed their bags. They're already on holiday. Everton, I don't think Sean Dyche would allow that. He literally was like, no, like, you were going to try and get a result. You know what? I thought they were going to. We were lucky to get that goal at the end. But we won. That's the main point. We finished second. Fantastic. In my books, it is still a positive to finish second because we're closer to City than we were last year. We've only lost 1 game this year, in 2024. It's something to build on. It really is, and I'm quite excited for next season. Like, I can't wait for next season. I'm already buzzing for it. But lessons need to be learnt from the season. Like, as much as it's a positive to get near City, I feel we are good enough to battle them to actually finish top.
So that would be one of my criticisms is this year, I don't think Villa's where you lost it. I maintain the fact that it was the draw at City. I would like to see Arsenal next year is you've already got the fact that you can contend for the title. That's already there. You've already got the skill. You've already got the players for that. For me, I think it's a mentality thing. I don't know whether it's Arteta. I don't know whether it's the players. I would like to see next year, the first or second time, preferably both, is the next time you take City on, it's a full frontal. We're going to go through it. We're going to beat them. We're going to make it our game. Because I think if you come in second twice, one of the times you spent nearly the entire season at the top of the table. You spent more money. Unfortunately, you finished second again. You've not won anything else either. I think now you've got to look at it and go, you can't go another season either finishing second and winning fuck all else or not. For me, right, if you want to focus on the league, I get that completely, right? But he's got to make that push. Or he has got to bring something else in to then win him another year. Because
how much more money does he spend?
Sorry?
How much more money does he spend then?
I don't know. Because I don't know whether spending money helps it. I think it's up here. I don't think it's on the pitch.
You know where I think it is? There's multiple things I think it is, but one of it is the bench. If you look at City and you look at Arsenal, one of the main things is City's bench. They can play De Bruyne one game, take him off and you replace him with Foden. Take Bernardo Silva off, you've got Jack Grealish. You take Haaland off, you've got Julian Alvarez. You've got that. We take Saka off, we've got Reece Nelson. We take fucking Jesus off, we've got fucking Eddie Nketiah. You get what I mean? The
You're
two
number 14 though.
Players. I can be 421. He still is fucking shit. Like, that what that really proves. But I think we need to bolster the squad, and I think it's shown at the likes of Villa, because that was obviously in between two Bayern performances. And not saying that's why we got beat, not saying that we were leggy or whatever, but I think if you can change the way that City can change, it's definitely a positive for next season if we can do it.
You are going to be one of the talking points, I think, next season. I think it's going to be very interesting to see the way that you guys turn out, because I think either way, it's going to ask questions. I think the transfer window for you lot is going to be quite a big.
It's key. It is key.
Not even that. I think the media will be all over it. Like, obviously, we've seen towards the end of the season, Sky have fucking loves you lot. But I think, like, if you don't spend a lot of money, then it's got to be pointed out that it's a mentality thing at Arsenal that you can't compete with City. Or if you come out and spend a lot of money,
you saw his mentality thing. They went to the Etihad and decided to take a draw because they didn't think they were
that's
good
what
enough.
I mean. So if they look at that now in summer,
an injury-ridden City team.
That's what I mean. So if they come to summer now, and a lot of money isn't spent, if like Gav said, if the bench isn't improved, or if their starting 11's not improved to move players that are already starting to the bench, if not a lot of money spent, then surely something's got to go on up here to try and
they don't have the stomach for it.
I want to go on about this City game at the Etihad, because if we did not lose to Villa, that game would not be pinpointed as much as it is. It's because we lost to Villa. It's like, if you went to the Etihad and won, then... And I get it. I want my team to go to every stadium possible and believe they can win. I don't want them to sit back and play
had no injuries.
Pussyfoot.
It's not even that for me, to be honest. The reason that I focus more on the Etihad game than I do the Villa game is the Villa game wasn't a slip-up. It was Villa showed you how to play football. For me,
it was a slip-up.
No, I think the Villa outclassed you that game. The way that I look at it is...
They played better than us, yes, but if you look at the games going into that, they didn't play good at all.
No, that's what I mean. They turned up to you lot and they showed you how to play football. The Etihad game, to me, the reason that that's a massive sticking point is because you guys went there with a game plan of just sitting back and doing nothing. The bit that annoys me about it is the whole season, Sky, BT, whoever, have painted you as they're the top two rivals, they're head clashes and stuff like that. If you're rivals and if you're capable of beating them, why were you worried to go for the game? And the reason that that's always going to be pulled up is the fact that it looks like you effectively went there and played it safe and not getting smashed, is what it looks like.
What we try to do is gain a point to try and keep the advantage over City. Because then I believe the thinking process behind it was we're not going to lose another game.
But the way you've worded that has just also summed that up. We've gone there to gain a point. You should be going there to get three. Not gain a point, you know what I mean? Like, it's...
No, 100%. I want that. I want to go to every stadium. Etihad, Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, fucking London Stadium. Doesn't matter how fucking little capacity, how big capacity, what team, big team, whatever. I want to go and win. But what I'm saying is, the Etihad draw, if we went on to win the league, it wouldn't be as spoken about in a negative light as it is now.
I think the problem is, it's very... Yeah, if you'd won the league, it wouldn't have been. But I think it would be something that pundits would come back to, because they'd be sitting there going, well, if you've now won the league, right? You've got a game that you didn't even really want to play for. Could you imagine if you then played that game and say, because you are capable of it, I reckon on the day, if you manage to catch City slipping up, it's not impossible that you'll beat them. But for me, it's more, I think even if you'd won the league, they'd turn around and they go, well, why didn't you go for that game then? Because you could have then, because if you got another 3 points on them, you'd have kind of then, City don't just have to turn it up. You need to slip up, and you haven't really. The Villa, fair enough, the Villa game, I don't think it was a slip up. I think they were outclassed you, but it's something separate.
It's a non-starter though, because if you see a relegation fight where it's a 6-pointer, you never see a relegation fight decide to go for a draw rather than a win. It's just, I'm sorry, it was a total bottled decision. Go to the Etihad for a draw.
Yeah.
It made no sense. I'll just hope for the fact that City drop other points and we stay a point up. Have you ever seen a title contender go to another title contender to go for a draw rather than win when they've got a makeshift back four? You've never seen it. Arsenal bottled it. It's Arteta's DNA, mate. He's not got it in him. He's not got stomach for it.
You just summed it up there, and that's what I was trying to say. Is I said at the time, if we went to the Etihad and Arsenal played City, it would have been one was losing, one was winning. Don't know who, because any given day City can get beat. Any given day we can win, we can get beat. That's just what football is. we went to the Etihad, and Arteta played Pep. It wasn't the two teams playing against each other. It was manager v manager. It is what it come down to, and it does show you what Arteta thinks of Pep. That he isn't as good as Pep. And you know what? He isn't. It's clear as day. He just isn't. He's not the caliber of manager of Pep is. But it is a factor of us not winning the league, and I completely get it. But what I was saying was, if we went on to win the league, it's being spoken about as much as it is.
Question though.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be spoken about at all. I'm just saying it wouldn't be.
But I think with the result now, it has to be looked at for me, because I
I
wouldn't like. Could you imagine, right? And I don't know whether it would have happened, right? But you went for a draw, you got the draw. But if you went there and played football, could you imagine if you beat them? Like how much of an easier ride this arse end of the season you'd have had?
Yep.
Like in all honesty, and I don't know whether the manager's side of it apart. Like I think like when you watch Italian leagues, you watch French leagues and stuff like that, you get someone like I don't know Toulouse turn up against PSG. And they go, do you know what? Fuck it, we're throwing the kitchen door at them. We're absolutely going for it. And I think like they're not even competing for the league at that point. And I think Arsenal, when being the contenders effectively, is something that they should have just. I honestly think with like Jay said, with a couple of injuries that they had, and they were looking at the time, I think it was a prime opportunity to put your foot on their throat and just go, we're going to win the league, tough shit. And then I think after that, that's what caused the downward trend.
But
with Klopp,
that's a lesson that we need to learn from next year. And no, sorry, that's a lesson Arteta needs to fucking learn from this season to next year. Is we are good enough on a given day. We're both a good team. Well, sorry, City are a great team. It's shown that they've won 4 in a fucking row. Arsenal can be a great team on their day. They can. But it does come down to ball. It really does. And it does bug me that we didn't go and take the 3 points. But I do understand it at the same time. And it's not the case that we thought City were going to drop points. We thought we weren't going to drop points. That's what I believe it is. It wasn't the fact that I don't think we were more focused on what City were doing. I think it was more focused on what we were going to do. And unfortunately, we didn't capitalise on it. It's as simple as that. Is it
would Liverpool have got in the Etihad and done that? Would Liverpool have got in the Etihad and done that?
No,
if they were trying for a title?
If Liverpool did it,
that's that's a mentality change. I
they wouldn't have because they believe in it. Because they believe in what they're doing is why.
I think that's
they believe they're as good as City. I don't think Arsenal do believe they're as good as City.
It's because Klopp is a better manager than Arteta.
No, but what I mean is I don't think Arteta goes to the Etihad and think he goes, oh, we're as good as these, like we're going to try and muck about with them.
No,
I think they go, let's keep for a draw because let's just try and get a draw.
I don't think it's not in Klopp's team mentality to go for a draw. He's very much, and probably one of the things that I admire in most about a manager, he's very much, I am going to go for the win. Wherever I've got injuries, we've got players out, he's like, I will get the result I can get, but I'm going to throw absolutely everything at it to try and push it so it's positive my way. Look at the Arsenal of the season with the amount of young players he's had playing for him, and he's still pulling results out.
But as I've said, it wasn't Arsenal. Arsenal didn't go to play. It was Arteta tried to outdo Pep. And and I get what you're saying. Would Klopp do that? No, he wouldn't. Because Klopp's been there, done that. He's been. I don't know. I couldn't tell if he's actually been to the Etihad and won. I think they might have. But he goes to every stadium and he wants to win. I like Klopp, and I'm kind of sad that he's gone. But I don't think it was Arsenal drew with City. I think it was Pep. Arteta just didn't want to lose to Pep, and unfortunately, that is why it is.
Well, to me, he's got this season now. So if for me, he gets next year, and then if that's it, you have to look at a manager that's going to do the final job. Because I think
so he spent another 200 million. I guess the question is, he spent 200 million this summer or last summer. Sorry, has he actually improved them at all? Because he ended up finishing second and then finishing second again.
because we're a lot closer to City than we were last year.
Yeah, but I think you played better football last year, so I'd say no.
We got the same points this season as City did last year when they won the title.
And I still think you played better last year.
We absolutely did.
Your football last year was amazing. Whereas this year, you were very much like the only way I could sum it up is like an Atletico. You were very
game management.
Yeah.
It was just game management this year. Last year it was all about fancy football, fancy goals, great goals, stuff like. This year it was 1-2 goals. That's fine. Then we can start playing. And I get that. But you have to look at it like this as well. If City won the league with 89 points last season, we got 89 points this season, and it wasn't good enough. But it is better than what we done last year, statistically. Maybe game style, it's not. But it's better statistically this season.
I'd nuance it a different way in saying that Arsenal have got more points with no injuries at all, while they've lost the league to a City team that had De Bruyne out for half a season, Rodri out on suspension for quite a lot of the games, Walker out as well. Haaland's been misfiring. I mean, I think the nuance of it is, all right, Arsenal have finished second and they've got more points, but City have been worse than last year.
I just don't think it's witch hunt, in my opinion.
It's not a witch hunt.
You've not said anything fucking positive.
No, but City have...
Because genuinely, I don't know what you can say positive against Arsenal right now.
What's the least goals out of everybody?
I mean, you've literally bought the best holding midfielder from West Ham, probably in the world, in a number 6, apart from Bar Rodri. I don't know what you expected when that got signed, and as well, Saliba's not had an injury, Gabriel's not had an injury, White's not had an injury at all.
Gabriel has had injuries. He's just managed to play through it because he doesn't trust any of the
You've used the least amount of set-amount partnerships in the whole of the season. I think a lot of people are just giving Arsenal props for no reason.
I do agree the media has been very soft on you.
Anything though, and I don't get it.
It's not that
I honestly don't get it. You don't give a fucking anything.
It's not that I wouldn't give you positives.
If you don't like about this season, we conceded the least goals. Fair enough. We didn't switch our centre backs up. Okay, fine.
Why did you use the league last year? Because Saliba went injured. Almost every Arsenal fan says that.
No, I just don't think we had the experience of winning anything with that team. I said that last season. Do I think Saliba was a part of it? Yeah, but I also think experience was the main.
I just there's been no injuries, in the Arsenal team. He's tried to fanny about with Havertz. He's persisted with him. Fair enough, whatever. But I don't think they've improved. I think they were better last year.
I don't think they've improved.
I don't think Rice provided a solution. I think, if anything, he's probably actually caused more of an issue going forward in the next couple of years.
I'm very interested to see where they go now because, like you said, they've signed one of the best, or if not the best, other than Rodri, the best centre defensive midfielder. I don't think really they've improved on last year. I do think, obviously, they played a lot better football last year than they did this year. I'm interested to see where, because I'm not sure, when I look at their starting 11, right, I don't know who you replace. Because quite genuinely, when you look at them, player for player, they have got a class starting 11. But I just genuinely don't know where you spend money in the summer to push that we're going to beat City. I think as a team, and one positive I would say, yeah, you have got an unreal team, and I think
but you just kind of nailed on what I said before, Ben. We have a good starting team.
Do. I don't even think bench wise you have a bad team. I just think at the moment you've got a lot of your auxiliary players are players that Arteta doesn't want to use. So I think either in summer he needs to look for players that he's willing to use as backups, or he needs to bring in better starters that he can then move your existing to the bench. I think Jorginho's a useless player. He needs binned. I think Partey, again, gone. Zinchenko.
You saw it with Trossard, though. Trossard got brought in, and Martinelli was still getting game time. And then Martinelli got an injury, and Trossard started getting more consistent game time. Scored a goal, had a couple of assists, and he's kept his starting place. That's what I want in my team. If you have an injury and a player comes in and he performs better, they stay in, and the other player fights his arse off to get back in this team. And
that's right winger.
For that's every position. Yes, a replacement, but can be starting right winger.
No, not a replacement. Yeah. Competition. You need someone who's either a little bit worse, but holds form better, that will push either Saka to be a better player, or like you said, he'll replace him. Because I genuinely think where, like Jay said, Havertz, I don't get it. I don't rate him, and I don't. Unless he pulls something out of his arse next year, I would probably be saying the same thing.
It's been his freak project. It's been Arteta's freak project that thought it'd work and it hasn't really worked.
And I also agree with the fact that Saka being
quite well.
I think Saka being this star boy and all that sort of stuff. Like you said, there's been a couple of games this season where he's been a passenger, and you need
quite a few.
Yeah, and you need someone on the bench that you can go, do you know what, Saka, sit down, we'll chuck him on. And it'll give him a good run because I think he needs that.
You can put Jesus in that wingman, but he doesn't because he won't drop Saka.
Doesn't matter. Someone needs to drive Saka, not out of his spot, but they need to contest him for it enough that he either picks up the pace and he starts playing better for you, so that then when there are these games where he's sitting there as a passenger, you're just like, "Well, get on the bench then, go on." So, I think.
So if Arsenal's improved that much, if Arsenal's improved that much, have they had a better season than Liverpool then? Just to ask.
No. Because Liverpool.
If you go off success, no.
What else do you go off? I don't know what else you go off.
Because what? Klopp got the League Cup, didn't
he? Yeah, he did.
With winning something, yeah, absolutely.
I think
they've had a better season.
I do think the problem is with them finishing in the top 3 and winning a League Cup, and with all the injuries he's had and playing all the youngsters.
When you look at that Premier League and you look sandwiched in between City and Liverpool is Arsenal, and you look at it and you go, they have had an almost near perfect season for injuries. They've almost had no long-term injuries, none. And you look at City and Liverpool, have had loads. All I'm saying is, I don't think they have improved. I think they've possibly gone backwards.
Fix it is my problem. I don't know how you fix it. Genuinely,
Let's fucking move on.
At this point, I don't know how you fix it.
You've got to get the thing is you've got to get a striker and a left winger because their left wing just doesn't work right now. Martinelli goes quiet, and they've put Trossard out there as a foul safe, and it doesn't work.
I don't know how many times I need to fucking say because I've said it numerous times throughout the season, but it's okay because we went fucking backwards and it's been a shit season, so it's all good. I don't know what to say anymore. I really don't. We've been shit. Fine.
You've accumulated more points with no injuries, and you play worse football, and you spent 200 million.
I think it's right.
Is that not?
It's difficult. Yeah. Because I genuinely like watching you last year. Were unreal.
I still think you play good football. I just don't think it's as attractive as it was last season.
I think last season the football you played was unreal, whereas I think this season you are very much Atletico, and it's hard to watch. Whereas I think last year. When you saw Arsenal turn up, you knew you were going to see some lovely bit of football. They were just going to slap someone off the park. Whereas this year, I expect them rolling around and Ben White to be undoing people's gloves and just crap. Like I don't like the way Atletico play, mate. I never have. I don't really like Simeone as a manager, but I just.
But I'm also not willing. I'm also not willing to praise a team that I don't think is made ground, and I don't think they have.
I'm just interested to see what they do.
I know Gary Neville's been all over him, but I just don't think they have. I think it's very telling when you're second for a second time in the season and you go to your biggest rival's ground and you end up going for a draw. Do
you know what I don't think helps as well is Arsenal have been painted as the pantomime villain, mainly for the fact that unfortunately a lot of your fan base has done it themselves, but Sky has not helped. Sky has not helped at all.
Because I think they're better. Mate, Paul Merson said in October he thought Arsenal were the favourites for the Champions League.
Yeah, I know.
It is actually embarrassing.
Sky haven't helped because I genuinely think you've come under extra flack with the way that the media have painted you. I think if the media had left you alone, I don't think the stick that you're probably going to get over the next couple of days would be as bad as it would have been.
You know what? I don't think the media has helped, but I still reckon we'll get a bit of flack because, we haven't won it. And you know what? What's going to overshadow us winning the league whenever we do? It's going to be the fact of, you should have won it past previous years. So what it's going to be I can already see it now. It's going to be overshadowed with, you should have done it a few years back.
At that point, though, if you win a league, Gav, you won't really give a fuck about anyone else's comment because your answer is you won it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same when...
I get that, but it still puts in a cloud over it.
Does, but look at us, right? People go, it's Mickey Mouse, Europa Conference. And you sit there going, when was the last European Cup you won? And as much as they go, well, it's Mickey Mouse, it's fine. It was like, well, why haven't you won it then? And it's very much and it was the same as you guys. If and when, because I maintain the fact, and me and Jay spoke about this before, if Klopp and Pep weren't in the league, you'd have won one at least, or maybe 2 leagues already, quite easily. Because other than Liverpool and City, not a lot of teams have come close. Chelsea off the burner, United are awful.
If Liverpool didn't have any injuries, would they finish above Arsenal this season?
Don't know.
7 points off, I think they were at the end. And you don't think if they had a fit left back or right back, they'd be 7 points better off?
I said I don't know. I didn't see the
I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
This is my point. That's all I'm saying. Is a team with...
It's a good argument.
Joe Gomez at left back the majority of the year, and
Gomez played left back numerous years. It's not just this year.
And Bradley at right back, and Quinzer at centre back, and Curtis Jones in centre mid, and Endo their 5th choice on midfielder choice. And I just think you're chapping a bit if you go. I'm doing it because you know what, Sky Sports have absolute idolised Arsenal, only because they're the closest to Man City right now, and they spend the most money. I mean, I think they've matched Man United, and we slag off Man United, so I don't see why Arsenal are anything different.
Well, the past transfer window for the past however long.
I think since Arteta's time, I think Arteta spent more than Ten Hag. I think I could be wrong on that.
I mean, Arteta's had more time than Ten Hag.
Yeah, no. As I said, I think Arteta spent more money than Ten Hag in Ten Hag's time in the last 5-6 transfer windows.
Possibly. Well, I mean, Ten Hag's only been there 2 years.
Yeah. But he spent more money than them.
Was it? Did he go in the summer? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it is what it is. I genuinely don't have any more answers. I don't. We finished second. Some may say it's a good season, some may say it's a bad season. I don't think the punditry helped us. I think the likes of Martin Keown and Paul Merson, as much as I love them as Arsenal legends, they...
Need to know when to shut up.
They paint this picture of we're unbeatable, and we're not, because I don't think any team. I know Bayer Leverkusen's just went unbeaten the whole season there, but it's like a freak occurrence. You know what I mean? It is. It's like a freak occurrence to go whole season.
Well, they've made the best Invincible run, haven't they? Really, which is Leverkusen now. Which is unbelievable. Which fair play to Xabi Alonso, he's done a class job. The way you said that, actually, that's one thing I'd like to give props to. I am genuinely not disappointed, but I'm gutted Klopp's leaving. I think the type of football he played, it's gonna be a weird league not seeing him at the helm at Liverpool. And I mean, I'm interested, but I think we're gonna miss. Yeah, as a person, as a personality, as a manager. I think we're going to miss Klopp quite a bit with the football he played, with the fact that he was just he loved a good challenge of just going, you know what, screw it, and the fact that,
where does he rank?
What as a Premier League manager?
The Premier League managers.
What, this season or?
No, just overall, because obviously he's only got one Prem, which I think could underpin it. Is going, he's the same as Ranieri.
He's got to go down as one of Liverpool's best managers ever.
He
has to. He's won a league. He's won a Champions League. Yeah,
he's won everything with him.
Fair enough. I know it's not the fairy tale ending Liverpool fans wanted. I get that, but that was.
He's definitely in the top 5.
But he's also left with a cup on the year that he's announced that he's going to go. He's still won him silverware. So I think for me, he's got to be looked at. He's the best Liverpool manager I've ever seen. And I'll be surprised if I see a better one. In my lifetime, at least.
I think
it's the thing with Klopp, right? Is he came into Liverpool where the fans hate. I don't know if it's strong enough, and if anybody has a problem with it, please fucking comment and have a fucking go. But it's like Klopp came in and the fans did not take to the team. They didn't like the team, didn't like the performances that was happening before Klopp. Klopp came in, he ignited that spark between the fans and the team. Not even the fans and the team, the backroom staff, the whole of Liverpool. Even if they don't like Liverpool, they like Klopp, and that's the biggest thing he's done. And I think that's one of the biggest factors of him winning the Champions League, him winning the Prem, is that unity that he managed to come in. And I think in his first couple of games, he drew with Palace away? And he got all the players to go over as if they won and were celebrating. And I took the piss out of that. I'll hold my hands up and say I took the piss out of that. Many fans did. But that unity is something special between the fans and him and the team. And if you watched any of the pre-match or the after-match of the Liverpool game, you could feel it with You'll Never Walk Alone, because it didn't feel like it was just being sung at the start of the game. It actually felt like it was directed to Jurgen, had that tifo, had all that. That is special, and I don't think we'll possibly ever see anything like that.
I think that's Liverpool as a club, though, isn't it? That's just Liverpool as a club, isn't it? To be honest with you, when they
beforehand to when Klopp came in.
Yeah. He revolutionised the club, and the type of football he plays is unreal, and I kind of agree with you, Gav.
I think he probably walks away as well and looks at himself not unlucky that he didn't win 4 Premier Leagues at least.
That's the biggest thing.
I mean, look at it.
If you take Pep
out
of Jurgen's time, he wins nigh on every league.
He wins more.
So, you sit there and you go, without Pep Guardiola being in our league, Jurgen Klopp could have won 4 Premier League titles with Liverpool.
Was it him that saw Coutinho?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can just put it down to Klopp, because obviously you have the back staff, the sporting directors and stuff. But he sold Coutinho for big bucks, and he got players in that, if you look at Andy Robertson, he came from Hull, and it was sort of like, who the fuck is this Scottish boy that he's brought in? He was one of the best left backs in the league for years. He brought Salah back in. He had Mane. He had, who was up top? Firmino. That was the best front three for years.
He's the only manager I know that absolutely turns not bang average players, but players that have only gone to a certain level hit higher levels. I mean, even just look no further than Virgil van Dijk. I think it was okay at Southampton. I think a lot of people turned around and went, that's a lot of money for him when he left Southampton. But then look at him, he's been probably the best centre-back in the world for the last 5-6 years consistently, right, before the ACL. But
I think you look at Maip, I think he's another one bang average, but he seems to get a song out of him. I think that man's magic. And you know what? It's the fact that he just doesn't give a shit. Like, do you see his last press conference he done? 8 seconds. He's walked in. I don't even think he said a word, and he's just walked out. And that was it. And folk like, what's going on? And he's like, done me. He just walked out. I was like, no one would get away with that. Like, no, Pep does it. He's getting criticised. David Moyes does it. Criticised. Jurgen does it. It's like class.
He's Fergie-esque, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's Fergie-esque.
He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care.
I know that sounds stupid as well because he's not won the Premier Leagues that Fergie has, but he's Fergie-esque in the way that he's perceived. He's
And you know what? One thing that doesn't get spoken about enough, and I love it, is he's got that much respect for Liverpool. He said he's no managing in England again. He went, I simply can't. It's not him. He's taken a big break, and he says it is a possibility he doesn't manage again. But him to turn around and go, he hasn't said this. City, no. Arsenal, no. Chelsea, no. Tottenham, no. No fucking doing it. Liverpool's my team. Liverpool's my city. Love it. I love the loyalty. Like, I fucking love it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he'll take quite a substantial break from football. I think he'll give him maybe 2-3 years. I don't know where he goes, is my only question. I don't think he goes Germany.
Well, no, I thought he went Barcelona before Xavi started. They sacked Xavi, but
you know what I would love, and I saw it, and I'm not taking credit because I saw it on Facebook. Jurgen Klopp to Germany, Pep Guardiola to Spain, and Ancelotti to Brazil. What a fucking World Cup that would be. That would be fucking amazing. Make it happen. I mean, you can get Eddie Howe from that decade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not for England, it wouldn't be a World Cup.
But no, that would be class.
Do we want to go into the all-fame team of the season?
No, because this isn't going to fucking end well.
We might as well.
You fucking
team of the season, then.
Who are we starting with?
I can get mine. I can go for mine.
Well, are we doing goalkeepers and then we also goalkeepers, or are we just doing our teams?
Oh, we do each. Yeah, that's fine. We can do kind of comparisons. That's fine. That's all right with me. Who's your goalkeeper?
My goalkeeper's Ortega. For City, I genuinely went with Ortega because at one point for me, in across the leagues, Alisson and Edison have been the best. They've been the best keepers in the leagues for the last couple of years, and I think Ortega has seamlessly stepped in for Edison game after game, and he's just looked class. And
has he played enough games to be in the team of the season though?
Yeah. That's class.
Hmm.
I think arguably, I think he's done enough in the games that he's been involved in to get into the team of the season.
We'll shock ourselves and ask Gavin who got their goalkeeper team of the season.
I found that one tricky because I would love to put Vicario in there, but I just couldn't sidestep David Raya with the winning the Golden Glove. I just couldn't. That's the only reason he's in there. If I really wanted to, I would want to put Vicario, but I just couldn't. I couldn't help it. Raya's in. I just couldn't help.
Mine's Pickford. I think he's second. I think he's second for Golden Glove, and I think the team shows that he's. I think Raya is very pampered by the stat that he's got one of the best centre backs in the world in front of him, and Declan Rice and Ben White and players like that. It's not to dig him out. At the end of the day, he still needs to make saves, but I take it usually off one more stat than that. Clean sheets is fine, but I usually have clean sheets, shot faced, and goals conceded. I think
he's his expected goals shots on target is like a lot less.
Yeah, I think
than what it has been.
But
does it that sidetrack then? Does Pickford get into your England squad because of this season?
Yes, probably now. Yeah, but just because how long Pope's been injured for, I would think. And Ramsdale hasn't played, otherwise them two would be in contention for me. But yeah, I think Pickford probably does now. I don't see how you can really argue that otherwise.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to go back four?
So I'll go. We split the old back four, yeah. So I went Udogie, Van der Veen, Saliba, and Ben White.
Van der Veen.
Do you know what, mate? He just. And I know he's had injury troubles, and I know that's the first thing people are going to mention. He just shows something that I don't think any other centre-back does in the league. He has got so much legs. It does not matter how much that boy is up and down that pitch. And do you know what? Some of the one-hit wonders and the off-the-line goals he stopped, I just think he's unreal. I think he's going to be one to watch.
Not a worry. His breakdance against Newcastle at Anthony Gordon, I think he did him. Two goals, two times in a row now.
Because hopefully Gordon slaps his legs.
Right down the fucking chicken dance. Fucking
I know.
Fucking hell.
That Bambi and Ice that day. Go on, Gav.
I'll start from right to left. Mine, I'll start with Porro. Pedro Porro at fucking right back. Saliba, Akanji at centre backs, and Vardio at left back.
I think it's hard to argue. Yeah.
Vardy, I'd actually agree with. I think he's underrated actually. How well he's done this year.
I also put Akanji in there because the last few games I've watched of City, I was close, but I think Akanji just. The thing with Gabriel, right, is he just fouls. He does. He's quite a foulsome player. Akanji, on the other hand, he's smart. He actually uses his body, and he's actually quick. Like he doesn't look like he should be that quick, but gone. Yeah. Akanji gets in there. I think that partnership with Akanji and Vardio is so good because they're both so quick.
I've picked four centre backs in my back four really when I actually look at it, but That's kind of how this is going this season, isn't it? Arsenal and City both done that. So, White, right to left, White, Saliba, Van Dijk, and Akanji. Van Dijk was a bit of an odd one because he had a couple of bad games, but I still want to put him in there because I think when he's good, he's the best in the world.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of bit of performances. I think one against Palace springs to mind, and the Atalanta games actually for the Europa League. But no major. I still think he's been. I actually think the defence is going to be the easiest thing to chat about because I think when you go midfield onwards is when it's going to start getting a nice chat. But no, I think they pretty much pick himself. Akanji had to be in there because of how good he's been. I think actually Ruben Diaz being bad has made Akanji so good.
I agree.
But he had to be in there. And I just don't.
Sorry, Jay, I seen a stat. Apparently, Ruben Diaz is one of the most influential centre backs of this season.
Mad.
But I can't remember what the exact stat was. Yeah, I don't know what kind of start they pull because I've not seen it.
I think he's been very lacklustre all season.
Very, if I had to use a word, mid.
Yeah,
very mid.
Yeah.
Go on midfield.
So my midfield, I went Holder, Declan Rice. Left wing, I went Anthony Gordon. I went Foden, De Bruyne, and Bowen, with the possible change of putting Gallagher in.
Ben.
But yeah, that was the midfield I went for. Rice, Gordon, Foden, De Bruyne, and Bowen.
That's a 5, is it?
So Rice is Holder, and then obviously Gordon on left, Bowen on right, and then Foden and De Bruyne in midfield in the centre, ahead of Rice.
Okay. Right, okay, I get you now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with any of that.
I just think we've got as much. I don't like Anthony Gordon as a player, or the way he goes down, how light touch he is, but his stats this season are very difficult for a left mid to argue with or a left winger to argue against him. He's just been unreal.
Go on, Gav. He loves Newcastle.
Pass. I've got 4 midfielders, 2 CDMs and 2 cams. Rodri and Rice, 2 central defensive mids, and the 2 attackers is Odegaard and Palmer. Odegaard is the only one I would kind of be a bit. He could be replaced because he's had a good season, but he's also had games where it's like, where the fuck have you been? But when he has been on song, he has been on song.
Palmer? Penking?
I think out of your...
Palmer the Penking?
Sorry, the accent threw me off there. Even without it, I'm positive his chances created have been like, it's the best. I think he's like number 1 with chances created for goals and assists as well. He's number 1. He can't deny how young he is. He is class.
Well, I think I'm the only one that's actually stuck to a 4-3-3 like we were talking about before the video. But I've got
told it didn't matter.
I've got a full City midfield 3. I just don't think anyone else gets in there. Rodri, De Bruyne, and Foden. I mean, I think De Bruyne has played 18 games this season and I think he's joint top of assists. So madness. Foden's been one of the best players in the season, and Rodri's just. But the only argument about Rodri and Rice is the fact that I don't think Rodri's lost the game that he's played for City in like 50-odd games, and he always turns up. He's so good.
Yeah.
It's a hard midfield to argue. It's a very hard midfield to argue.
Yeah, I think it's best midfield.
Foden's been
midfield right there.
Unbelievable this year. He has arguably been the best player in the league this year, in my opinion.
And go for your striker.
I went with Ollie Watkins up front.
Because you're playing pure David Moyes ball with 4-5-1, aren't you?
No, there's normally 5 at the back for Moyes, though, isn't it? No, I went for Ollie Watkins. I think he's been unbelievable this year. I think for him to get close to Haaland, and the fact that Haaland kind of fell off towards the second half of the season, in my opinion, he missed so many sitters. We've watched City week in, week out, and he just seems to have fallen off.
You missed one today.
And I genuinely think that Watkins for Villa has been he's been putting the effort every single game. So for me, it has to be Watkins up front.
Gav?
So I've got Ollie Watkins, and the other one I couldn't leave him out, but I wasn't playing a left wing, and I couldn't put him at Calm and not put Palmer in, so I put Foden up front. But if I really
Saka all
wanted
over
to,
again, isn't it?
I would because I would really want to put Foden as a centre forward type, because when he does play in game, he does play in that sort of role. Foden is the best player in the league this season, hands down. I don't think there's any fucking question, and that's why he had to be in. And you know what? The striker one for Foden, he plays there, doesn't he? He dabbles in every fucking position. Saka, I maybe put him in the wrong position, but it's all right because Foden had to be in there because he's class.
I've got Salah on the right, Watkins down the centre, and Gordon on the left.
I don't know if this would be a very unpopular opinion. Would you say this has been one of the worst seasons for Salah compared to his other ones?
I genuinely don't know. I don't know the individual stats, but yeah, I don't think he's been as good as other years. But
it's one of the only reasons I left him out is because I'd agree with Gav. I think this year it's just been off it.
He hasn't been.
It's been weird.
He's been stroppy for some reason. And you know what? But previous years, he's had the excuse of him and Sadio Mane didn't get on. What's the excuse this year for him being?
I agree with the other two. I think Salah's the only arguing point. I don't know.
28 goal involvement in 32 games. Not that I just checked that.
Yeah, but for him, it sounds bad, but for him, that's not. It's decent.
What right winger goes in there instead?
That's a good question. I don't have a fucking clue.
You put Foden out there if you really want to put Foden out there and put another centre mid in, but it just wouldn't happen.
Ballon, didn't it?
See, for me,
Gavin saying Saka.
No, I wouldn't put. I wouldn't put Saka. If I wanted to put Saka, in, he'd be at centre back.
Yeah, sounds about
right. Possibly Elise. Ever since he came back from his injury, he has been on fire. He saw it against United. He took fucking names that game. He had possibly the only other kind of mid right wing you could put in there is Elise. But
might as well do. I mean, I've not asked till now, but I'll ask on impromptu. Who's the manager of the season?
I've got two, and I'm waiting for the face. There it is. I knew it was going to be said.
It's because it's never one, is it? Go on.
No, and I'll tell you why. Pep.
I've got four.
No, Pep for doing 4 in a row. Like that's unheard of. Like he fair play. He's been that phenomenal. He's done it. Second one, Unai Emery.
Go on, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say Emery, but do you know what? As much as they've not done amazing, and
David Moyes.
No, see, as much as I think if it's not Emery, you have to give it to Ange. So I think with a Spurs team without Harry Kane, he's still finished 5th. And quite genuinely, with the team that he's got, with some of the injuries that he's got, I think that's impressive. I think quite genuinely, what if he's managed to get 5th? He's not had Kane. He's had injuries all year.
He's had a lot of injuries. Okay, yeah.
Quite honestly, I don't. Would you say 5th's a bad spot for him to finish with some of the results that they've had?
No, I wouldn't.
I quite honestly, I would probably agree with Gav. I'd probably say Emery's done more positive. But I think with.
So are you saying Ange or Unai, Ben?
I'll go Unai.
Sorry. Oh, that was a
I just think if you the comparison out of the two to get Villa where they are, Unai has done more impressively than Ange. I just think what Ange has done with a weakened Tottenham squad is very impressive. So I think he has to be in the runnings for it.
We're going to get a clean slate because I think Emery as well. I don't think you can slag him off too much. I think by the way, just as a caveat, I think if the Crystal Palace manager who's currently in there was in there for the whole season, I think you'd probably put him in there as well because he's done an absolutely tremendous job.
Unbelievable football. Like he's playing unbelievable football for Palace. For how long they have been a part of the bus team, for him to just, they play class.
Mad. I know it's funny enough. There's not much argument there. I thought there'd be a bit of an argument there, but there's not. Just to ask as well, might as well. Signing of the season.
Ooh, signing of the season. Guy Havertz. Don't be silly. No, it's it's probably got to be Rice, isn't it? Really.
He's won the league, though, hasn't he?
I just think for that Arsenal team, as much as result-wise, they've not really improved that much since last year.
Yeah.
I think on his own as a single pivot this year, he has done quite a bit for that club. So I think it's probably got to be Rice.
I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna say Palmer.
Oh.
He single-handedly he has dragged Chelsea up that table. He just has. Yeah, people can say he scored penalties, he's done that, but it's his intelligence for how young he is. Like, and for what they got him for as well. Like, it's value for money. That's the only reason I put him over Rice is the value for money. Yes, Rice has played really well this season. 100 million is still a lot. Has he lived up to that 100 million? I don't think he has just yet. I think next season, quite possibly, he could. Palmer, he's exceeded his budget. You know what I mean?
I'd actually agree with Palmer, I think. I think how much money he is and how much difference he's made. I'd argue with Rice. I don't think when you sign a £100 million player and all he does is... The problem is, it's like he's a whole midfielder over £100 million worth when you've already got Thomas Partey there. I don't think he is. And I don't think he's improved since West Ham either. I know he's played a single pivot, but I don't think he's done particularly anything more than he's done at West Ham.
No, I think it's more what he's done.
Not to slack, I'm not slacking
off.
The
team, I think. I think they're just a lot more resolute in midfield now. I think when Rice is there, especially with Saliba as a centre, Saliba and Gabriel as a centre-back partnership, he just solidifies that midfield.
Would they still have finished second without Rice, do you think?
Do you know what? I think that would have been interesting to see this year. Because I think with the football that he tried to play this year, I think without Rice, no, I don't think they would have finished second.
I'm going to be very critical. I love Rice. I like his the way he plays, but sometimes he's very lethargic of trying to get back, and that really pisses me off because he needs to. He's meant to be the one busting a gap, and it's like he's just jauntering down the fucking park. Like that really bugs me about him. I love him, but that's one gripe. And if Rodri, he bombs it. He gets it. He takes fucking names. Rice just seems to frolic down the pitch. And that really annoys me.
I think that's probably it, isn't it?
I'll probably say, what are we thinking for next year, boys? Obviously, we've got a new manager coming in the summer. I don't know what.
Can I just wait? Can we do the predictions in July? Because I don't want to actually think about West Ham. I'm sorry, but I waited 70 seconds to watch West Ham conceding against Man City today.
It was a lovely goal.
It's a good goal all you want, but like at the end of the day, you meant to be a defensive manager, and you let someone with 5 yards space just outside your penalty area. I don't particularly want to talk about it. Fuck David Moyes, he's gone.
All right, Gav, what do you predict Arsenal are going to do next year then?
I'm doing my predictions after the fucking transfer window, mate. Because if we have to put Nketiah up front again, I'm fucking relegation fucking battle at this point.
So we're all kind of sitting here going, we're going to wait and see. I think is the answer then.
There's no point. There's no. Yeah, until you know what Lopetegui's going to do, I think. Give us a couple of weeks. Let's see what Lopetegui. And he's still got the Euros as well. Don't depress the Euros. But I think about West Ham, we might as well take our West Ham tops off. Go watch England. Hopefully lift the Euros, which won't happen either.
I'll go watch Scotland try and score a goal. That's what
That's a fair argument, to be fair. He's not wrong.
Honestly. Well, Angus Gunning concedes 4 goals in a playoff semi-final. Woo!
Yeah.
Fuck me. Yeah.
I don't really. Yeah, well.
Fun times ahead.
And I think, I could be wrong, but I think you'll see Gavin in a Man United top, I think, come the first episode of this pod next year.
We need to, what's it called? We need to actually look at it. We need to actually look into it, because I'm not wearing fuck all until I've got evidence of proof of how we're fucking calculating this shit.
Because it was going to be a Defoe top from Spurs, wasn't it? But we might go Van Persie from Man United.
I'll burn it while wearing it.
I don't know why we're burning it while wearing it, because we can't film that. Can't wait to burn it while wearing it after.
I was going to say, yeah. It's not good content, is it?
Nah.
But yeah, might as well cap it off. West Ham finished 9th as per usual. Brilliant season, conceded most goals. Arsenal bottom of the league due to not having the stomach of going to City and making a win. And 4 in a row.
Well done, City.
Pep Guardiola.
Chill out.
Cheers, lads.